the pre-Adamitic race, or the pre-Adamitic earth. The earth is much older than 6,000 years, but our creation started about 6,000 years ago with a literal 6-day creation. Therefore, I reject that the Bible account of creation is figurative of a type of organic evolution in which all living things evolved from simpler varieties. The record of Genesis chapter 1 to 3 describes the literal work of God in creating this world and its creatures out of the previous void and chaos. Each day was a period of 24 hours duration and does not permit an evolutionary process. Before the 6 days' work began, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2 shows us darkness on the face of the deep, the earth without order and void. The very first incident described is the movement of the Spirit of God on the face of the waters, the same verse, from which it follows the earth and the water existed before the reorganizing work of 6,000 years ago began. The earth had a history before the 6 days' work, as further evidence from the words addressed to Adam, "Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth." Both the Bible and geological records show it was a history marked by upheaval and ending in catastrophe. The Bible shows us the recovery from that state by the 6 days' work ending in the appearance of Adam on the scene. So to summarize then, the earth existed for millions of years before the Adamitic era. Fragments, however, of the pre-Adamitic world have been brought to light by geological research. Organic remains, coal fields and oil belong to the ages before the formation of man rather than to the time of creation or the flood. If it be suggested that the fossil remains of the past include human remains as well as remains of other races, the answer has to be made that there is a lack of scientific evidence that these remains are identical with the human race. The animal and vegetable remains are those of species now largely extinct, belonging to pre-Adamitic ages, and analogy would require that what are considered human remains, if they are human remains, which is by no means certain from the evidence, are the remains of an anterior race existing at a remote time when as yet the earth had not been overtaken by the upheaval which brought it to that state, developed in darkness and submerged in the deep, depicted to us in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. So to summarize once more, the earth existed prior to the literal 6 days of Adamitic creation, that there was life on earth prior to a catastrophe which left the earth covered with water according to Yahweh's will.